when I talk to small businesses, solopreneurs, they're oftentimes saying, I know I need to use email marketing better. I know I need to use email marketing better, and I have no time. And I completely understand what that is like. And if you've been interacting with any of my work for a while, you know how obsessed with time I am, because I understand that that is an asset that you just can't get back. So I'm going to put this idea in your head, which are 3 different marketing automations that you want to set up. I'm going to talk to you for ones that are just easy, like do this today, you can do this now, to ones that are a little bit more tricky to get started, but the payoff is really good. So I'm going to walk you through each one of those. To let you know, I am certified in StoryBrand, so I understand ways to craft emails in order to get audiences to actually read them and take action. And I'm also a MailChimp partner. So I know the ins and outs and some of the bells and whistles of MailChimp specifically, but overall email automations. And so the whole idea here is to put these in place so that way you can save yourself time and you can actually do the things that you like to do in your business, and you don't have to do the stuff that you don't want to do. It's kind of great because email automations are in that old, like, set it and forget it kind of a thing, right? When I was a kid, there was a rotisserie chicken roaster that was on late night infomercials. And the whole idea was that you could set it and forget it. Well, that's what's a really great thing about email automations. Sure, you want to take a look at them every so often to make sure that they're working the way they're supposed to, that they're doing the thing that you want them to do. But on the whole, it's not the same as when you think of sending out an email, having to actually send that email out. So I'm going to go through 3 different email automations that you're going to want to set up to help free up time for your business. Okay, the first one, super easy. It's basically taking an RSS feed. I have to be honest with you, I can never ever remember what RSS stands for, but here's where it's used. RSS feeds are, every blog has an RSS feed. YouTube channels have RSS feed. Podcasts have RSS feeds. So if you have a blog, a YouTube channel, or a podcast, you can set it up in MailChimp or whatever your email platform is. So that way it will read whatever your most recent episode is, and then it will email your audience. So automatically you can have that email going out, and you can customize it. So that way, if you just wanted to say the title and maybe the excerpt and the image that goes along with that, the thumbnail that goes along with that piece of content, great. And then you can also have maybe the 5 most recent episodes as well in that email. You can customize it the way that you like. But basically, that's one that you can set up now. That would take you a solid 20 minutes, if that, just to get that up and running. And then every time you know that you post a new blog post, or that you publish a new blog post, a new YouTube video, or a new podcast episode, that your email subscribers will also know about it, not just your blog, YouTube, or podcast subscribers. So that's a great one to get started. It takes virtually no work. The next one is an email sales sequence. So if you're familiar with sales funnels, right, the idea is oftentimes people will download something for free. They'll give you their email in exchange for something that you give them for free. And then they get a series of 5, 6, 7 emails that are going to, 5, 6, or 7 emails that are going to basically lead them through a sale or whatever the next step is in your sales process, right? So these emails it takes a little bit longer to set this up because you've got to write those emails. You might want them to have you're definitely going to want them to have the branding for your company. So you want to make sure that all of that is set up and ready to go. And then a lot of people ask me, how often should those emails go out? Well, it's going to kind of depend. If it's a higher ticket item, it might take a little bit longer. It might take a few more emails for people to digest what it is they might be purchasing with you or what action it is that you want them to take. But if it's a lower ticket item, sometimes it's like sending out an email every day or 2. So that's another sequence that you want to set up. That's called an email sales sequence. And again, it's usually 5 to 7 emails long. A quick tip is the book Marketing Made Simple walks you through exactly what kinds of stuff should be in those emails. Like the first one, what the first one should say versus the second versus the third. And that's also something that I or someone at Downstage Media can help you with as well, as far as how to craft those emails to make sure you're really ushering your audience through to a sale. So that's the second one, a little bit more work. Not a ton of work, but still a little bit more work. Then the third one, this one does take a lot more work, but the payoff is really good, is that you create a series of emails that you've pre-written and that you just put on autopilot. So when I first did this, I had about 20 different emails that I wrote. Now, I'm a mom, I have 2 children, and I realized that in the summertime, they were allowed to wake up and they could watch some TV before we got our day started. And I realized, wait, why am I not using this time? So what I did was I used that time and I just tried to write at least 1 email a day. So over the course of the summer, I was able to get a number of emails written and under my belt. So these emails would do things like answer questions about your that your customers often have. It might be case studies. It might be you debunking myths that are in your field or your industry, different things like that, right? And I aimed to just put 20 out. So, not quite half a year, but about that, right? And then I eventually went on and I did that the next summer and I added another big chunk of emails. So this was definitely dedicated time that I had to build into my day in order to write these and create these and craft them. But what's really great about that is I set that up a couple of years ago, and I'm oftentimes getting emails from people who are first receiving them, right? So once they get on my email list and they get that sales sequence, once that sales sequence is done, they then start getting this long-term nurturing email sequence. These emails that come out like once a week, they're not meant to necessarily like drive sales or anything like that. It's just to get you in the front of their mailbox so that way you get in the front of their mind, front of their mailbox, front of their inbox. So you get in front of their mind. So that's the final one that you want to set up. And I am happy to work with you as to what those emails should be, how to write them, how to craft them, how to use best practices to make sure that they actually get opened and read and people take the action that you want them to take. So I'm going to recap for you. So 1 is to set up an RSS feed, 2 is to set up a sales sequence, and 3 is to set up a long-term nurturing email sequence. Once you set these 3 automations up, you are going to be able to save yourself so much time. It's one of the really great things about email that you'll be able to have them going so you can do the other stuff in your business that you love to do. So in the meantime, if you've got some questions about setting this up or you feel like you have some issues getting this going, feel free, go to downstage.media and you can just schedule an intro call. I will walk you through the process and you can start to benefit from having these email automations set up for you, your business, and your brand. Thanks so much. And I can't wait to read your emails.